You want me to work for you. Is that right?
I want us to go into business together.
Okay. I mean, you're in high school, my man. So
That don't mean I don't know how to get paid.
You see, I don't think you can trust that white man. I don't think you can trust him. If he ain't Tommy and he ain't Braden, I don't think Kanan should be trusting that white man. For today's topic, it's going to be about me discussing about Kanan and I guess Paul, right? Because seeing how in the last episode where Kanan was talking to Paul about being partners and about him selling weed and him using his guys to get on they bikes to do so. Now the thing is with Paul, I'm thinking a lot of things. I feel like he probably might either get a little bit overzealous, maybe a little bit too greedy, and maybe like, well, technically we don't really need you. I don't need you, right? I could just do this on my own and then have my guys do it and then just cut Kanan out the loop. Because the one thing about Kanan right now is he's not a feared man. So and that's gonna be, I guess you could probably say his downfall in this season is that he's not a feared man. Because the reason why nobody wouldn't do that to Rock, obviously, because she's a feared woman. So nobody wouldn't dare try to approach her like that way because she's a feared woman. Now, granted, even if you are a feared person, you still will have enemies that would try to come after you despite knowing that you are a feared person, but they don't care because, they chancing it with their own life and they feel that the risk is worth the reward. But for Kanan, he's not a feared man and nobody knows his name in the streets like that. So that's why I'm thinking that in this entire season so far, I think something is gonna happen between like him and Paul, where I think they business venture is gonna like fall apart, and I'm kind of thinking that it might maybe even lead to him going over to like maybe Henry Snaps, and they might probably do business together. Seeing how I'm thinking that maybe that whole him and Paul, like I think that shit might actually like break up. Like I don't think it's gonna like fully last that long because I'm thinking, like I said, Paul probably might get greedy and be like, well, I don't think we really need you, right? And he probably might do something different or probably just screw Kanan over completely and be like, well, technically you're a teenager. There's really nothing for you to do, as I said before, because Kanan is not a feared man. And that's when Detective Howard was saying in the trailer to Raquel that these kids, like, he don't know who these kids are. And they could have showed up anywhere. They could have been really anywhere. And it's going to put Kanan in much more of a dangerous light, I should say. It's going to put him more in a dangerous light because he doesn't know these people, and despite him just using them like, well, everybody wants to make money. Now, that's true. Everybody does wants to make money, but at the same time, you have to be a feared person because like Al Capone said, you can either rule by love or you can rule by fear, right? But if you rule by fear, none of those dudes, none of your street soldiers, they're not going to approach you like that because they know who you are. Because going back into like in the original Power, when Kanan came out, right, and he was seeing everybody. He saw Two-Bit, he saw Dre, he saw everybody. They was just like, oh, Kanan, this and that because they knew of him, right? And he was obviously respected and also a feared man. Even Dre.
The next time I ask you if you could trust a member of your crew, sure is not an acceptable answer. Can I trust you to do what needs to be done here?
Dre needed backup. He had to get some help in order for him to like go after Kanan. He wasn't trying to do that shit by himself. Because remember when Kanan showed up in his house holding his baby, and he was just like, all right, man. He said, that ghost shit. And that's it, he kind of had Dre right there. So that's what I'm saying. It's like Kanan, he's not there yet. He's getting there. It's a slow build for him, and he's getting there. But he's not a feared man. So all of these opportunities that he's having right now is going to slip through his fingers because he's not a feared person yet. And this is why I'm thinking that seeing how him and Paul, they got this whole business venture, like I said before, I don't think it's going to like last that long. So I don't know if Kanan would actually maybe beat down Paul, if he does decide to like screw him over. I don't know if the killing part might come up yet. I don't know. I don't know about that killing part, but I'm thinking like he probably might have to put hands on him in order for him to like get things straightened out with him. Now for the boys, like those boys that's actually there, Again, we don't know who they are. So I wouldn't jump to conclusion and say like, maybe, they probably working for Henry Snaps or anything. I'm just like, no. I feel like Henry, that's gonna come a little bit later, and to seeing like, okay, what is Henry opportunities and what is he doing? Because remember, in the last season, Cartier Fareed, his business was different. He wasn't really doing, he was doing, I guess, it wasn't street stuff. He wasn't really like doing street stuff. Like his business, his deals that he was doing, it was like completely different though. It was like the way he turned his cash flow, it was like really different. So it wasn't like he was really doing like street stuff like that. And we have yet to have seen Henry Snaps and him being on screen yet for him to actually explain like, okay, what's he actually doing? Like, is it street stuff? Is he using people to like do maybe street stuff, or is it he has like his own different thing? So we're just gonna have to like wait and see what that's gonna be about. But going back to Kanan, it's just like, yeah, he's not there quite yet. And I'm thinking that since Rock is gonna be like doing her thing, right, it is gonna probably like cause maybe some sort of maybe influx, because you gotta keep in mind, like, you have Unique, you have Raquel, then you have Kanan, right? And they all gonna be doing their own thing, but I'm thinking it probably might overlap with it. But it's just like, for now, Rock is out, but we know eventually she's gonna get back in and she's gonna be, doing her own thing and her own hustle. Even Ronnie said in the trailer, he was just like, if Rock is still hustling, she's still, active, right? She's still gonna be doing stuff. So I'm thinking that that's also gonna be the thing as well. So I mean, it's like I said, it's just like a lot of things that you have to like look for in this entire episode and season, I should say, because Kanan his growth is gonna be there. Is gonna be there, and I'm thinking too, it's just that you see how like in Detective Howard, we don't know what's gonna be their relationship going forward, because right now he's trying to keep things under wrap, because the cat basically trying to tell him like, okay, put this Shannon shit to rest and this and that or whatever. But then at the same time, you got the FBI and everybody's like, wondering about like, certain events that happen and this and that. So it's just like he's kind of like stuck in the middle of a lot of things, and he has to carry a lot of things as well. So seeing how, these new peoples that Kanan is getting involved with could actually put him into like a bad spot. So again, all of that has to like culminate into what the bigger picture is gonna lead up to regarding like Rock and Kanan, because we do know that eventually they will have like that talk again where it just be like, well, you shouldn't really be involved in this at all. But Kanan is like, I don't give a fuck what you want. I'm gonna be selling drugs, nigga. So it's just like, hey man. But comment down below what you guys think of Paul, because he's a strange one. Like I said, if it ain't Tommy, it ain't Braden, you can't be trusting these other white men. Like, he just showed up out of nowhere like, hey, yeah, I'm, helping out these kids, we all gonna be, working together and this and that. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine. Getting them jobs and doing them, like, odd stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just like, I don't know. When you have a guy like that and you start bringing in, like tons of money, they tend to start to get a little bit greedy. And they start to get greedy, and they be like, I can make more, until eventually they start thinking about trying to cut the other person out of it. They partner out of the deal and be like, well, technically, I'm seeing all this money. I'm seeing how you do it. I don't really need you. So I'm just like, I don't know. And the way how Kanan and Famous, like, they kind of need the money right now, because Kanan doesn't want to go back to Rock, and Famous doesn't want to be homeless. So it's just like, it puts them in this tough spot to trust a guy they're not really sure of, and do business with a guy they may not be sure of, despite, Kanan is going to be coming up with the money and this and that. But I'm just telling you, like, you can't trust Paul. I don't know. It's just like I say, he's not Tommy, he ain't Braden. So it's just like, I don't know. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I catch you all in the next one.